Hi, my name is Mike Ward. I'm the Global Director of Content for Informa Pharma Intelligence's Insights portfolio, which includes iconic brands such as Script Intelligence, The Pink Sheet, and In Vivo. We're here at the BioEurope Spring Meeting here in Stockholm, and I'm joined by a Senior Investment Director for Takeda Ventures, Dr. Ilan Zipkin. In recent years, corporate venture capitalists have been big players in the sort of venture capital scene, and I mean this is kind of interesting. I mean, it's a delight to see you again, Ilan. The corporate VCs, some of them that have not all the same focus. So could you sort of describe what Takeda's focus is?
Yeah, and actually Takeda Ventures is really on, I would say, the strategic end of the spectrum. Right. Corporate venture can have everything from a purely financial motivation for their investments all the way to a purely strategic motivation, as we do, where our investments are intended to nurture companies developing products and technologies that we hope will become business development opportunities for Takeda R&D, so licensing or acquisition, and directly contribute to the pipeline down the road. But obviously these companies need a certain amount of time and money and expertise to get to that point, and that's where we come in. Right. So we don't have a financial objective per se for our investments. It's really with that strategic goal in mind.
So there's no sort of, IRR that you're actually looking to get?
Right, so we will syndicate and co-invest with institutional investors and other corporate investors, and certainly those investors and the company hope to see a very nice return for shareholders on a cash-on-cash basis, right, an IRR basis. But that's not our primary objective.
So what would you say is the investment focus then? What kind of assets are you looking for?
Yeah, so the core of our investments are going to be aligned with Takeda R&D. Right now that's primarily focused in oncology, gastrointestinal diseases, and then to a certain extent cardiovascular and CNS indications. So most of our investments will be with an eye towards years down the road contributing to those therapeutic areas. Then of course we'll look at enabling technologies and platforms that might contribute across the board. And there are particular subsegments of each of those therapeutic areas where the internal folks are more focused, and so where we're either going to invest in the areas where they know they want something, or we'll invest in areas that we see opportunity that can feed back into areas that we're not currently working.
Right, so there is some opportunity for white spaces. So if people were to look at what Takeda has.
Right, so it's more gray spaces, I would say. We're not going to invest in areas that are completely away from Takeda's core business, right? So we don't invest in diagnostics or medical devices. That's just not a business Takeda is in. And then even within therapeutics, it's unlikely we would go and do an anti-infectives deal because Takeda at the moment does not have an anti-infectives portfolio. So it has some bearing on R&D, but within oncology, for example, immuno-oncology is a big area, very hot right now. That's an area that Takeda is still growing into, and so our investments could occupy a pretty broad range of technologies within that.
Okay, yeah. So when you're looking to make an investment, what does the entrepreneur or the biotech or whatever, what do they actually have to sort of show to, I guess, attract your attention?
Yeah, well, so because we have that strategic focus, we will invest in things that are, by definition, not yet ready for a business development transaction. So we look early. We recognize that we're going to be investing in projects that are either higher risk or in a smaller company than what a institutional venture fund might be looking for. So our hurdle is really that there's an innovative approach to an unmet medical need. I know that sounds cliche, but it's all a matter of matching up good science with what we see as a product opportunity, with a management team, even at the early stage, that we can get behind.
Right, and do you guys, do you take a lead role, or are you, part of syndicates where you will take a sort of a back seat?
Well, we will generally always be part of a syndicate in some way, shape, or form. Historically, we've tended to be a follower and invest alongside a lead investor, but that's changing to a certain extent. And I think actually we're finding ourselves in a position now of seeing early stage companies that we're quite interested in that have trouble generating traction with a traditional venture syndicate. And we're seeing the need to lead investments, whether it's a convertible debt round or a small Series A, really take the lead in getting that capital into the company and really getting it to the point where it's not only interesting to Takeda, but also interesting to other investors.
All right. So what would sort of a typical sort of bolus of cash that Takeda would put into one of these rounds?
So typically we invest around $5 million US in a company over the life of our involvement.
Right.
So for a first round, that can really range anywhere from, say, $500,000 to a few million, depending on how advanced the company is at the time.
Right. And so historically, Takeda, how long has Takeda had a corporate VC?
The group started in 2001. It made its first investment in 2004, so it's now been 12 years. We have a portfolio, a total number of investments around 25 companies, of which I would say right now 11 or so are what we refer to as strategically active. So they haven't been acquired, they're still ongoing companies, and there's still something of interest to Takeda R&D that we're hoping to push forward.
And is there a sort of a star performer of those investments that you guys have looked at?
So from a strategic perspective, the best outcome for our venture group is to see Takeda acquire one of our companies. That happened with a company called Envoy, which had a platform technology for really cell-specific target identification and discovery that Takeda first did a collaboration with, then acquired the whole company, and now uses that platform across all of our discovery areas in-house. So I think that's our flagship success.
Okay. Now you mentioned that you tend to be sort of a follower in investments. So how much do you participate in the management of some of your portfolio companies?
Yeah, well, so along with being more of a passive investor, I would say historically Takeda Ventures has been a board observer rather than taking a full board seat. That's also changing now, because I think we're also seeing that along with getting more active in earlier stage companies, we need to have representation on the board in order to guide those companies and make sure that they're going down a path that we think Takeda will benefit from, and that really we can provide expertise from the Takeda corporate and R&D side back to our portfolio companies. So that's become, I think, more of a factor in our investments.
Yeah, because I guess so, because you'd want them to maintain their strategic alignment with your needs.
Yes,
right.
That is the goal.
So, and how much do you actually have in the pot to invest?
Well, so we actually don't have a separate fund. We're part of the Takeda R&D and business development organization. So really we have a flexible amount depending on the opportunities that we see.
Right. Okay. And how do you actually sort of source those? Are there sort of other VCs come to you and sort of say, do you want to participate in this, or do you actually seek them out yourselves?
It's all of the above. I mean, we're here at BioEurope Spring looking for new opportunities. We do invest globally, even though our team, 3 of us are based in California, 1 is based in Tel Aviv, but we are responsible for finding investments globally. So we're traveling quite a bit to do that, and so we source opportunities at conferences from our network of other investors, network of entrepreneurs, people we've worked with in the past, other pharma companies. It's the whole gamut.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for stopping by, Ilan. Pleasure seeing you again.
Nice to see you as well,
Cheers.
Mike. Yeah,
great.